Welcome to the Phlarp Podcast. Phlarp stands for Park Hills Live Action Role Players. We are a medieval fantasy-themed LARP group. We engage in unscripted combat against each other using padded LARP weapons and a shared combat system. We also participate in ad-lib dialogue with each other in an attempt to portray a character, and many of us also wear costumes. We operate out of Park Hills, Missouri, every Sunday from 1 p.m. until
5 p.m.
We strive to create an environment that facilitates our players' immersion as much as possible so that regardless of their previous experience with LARP, they can participate and have a fun and memorable LARP experience. We want to help people create friendships, relationships, and memories that will last a lifetime. It is our hope here at the Phlarp Podcast that through the utilization of this platform, we can expand on the ideas and suggestions taken from our players so that we can maximize player retention and expand our player base. The Phlarp Podcast is made possible by support from our players and listeners like you. If you would like to support us, please visit our Patreon where you can do so for as little as $3 a month. Also, any engagement on our YouTube or Facebook pages is much appreciated, and thank you for listening. Okay, and we're live. Welcome to the Phlarp Podcast. This is the third podcast. It is November 6th, 2022, and I am Jason Smith, one of the main hosts, and then also we have...
I'm Brandon Frazier, also known as Davine Alwyn.
Oh, and I'm also known as North. So,
and I am Chris, also known as Eric the Red.
And today we have a special co-host.
Hey, what's up, guys? This is Matt Hill, also Gregor Dragnov.
And then also sitting kind of off to the side there is...
Hey, I'm Beth, also known as Vic.
Okay. And we have a few questions that we ask people, and whenever we have them out as a co-host. But I guess the main topics that we're going to get to today is we don't have a whole lot of topics. I don't know if anybody else had any major topics. Mine is just trying to get through as far as we can through the first level abilities, just discussing them. But that's if we make it to it, because I know that we might have other stuff we talk about.
That's fair.
And then I want to shout out the Patreon. Keep in mind that even if you just listen to our podcast, if you want to hear more stuff like this, you can sign up to our Patreon for $3 a month as a spectator tier. So even if you don't LARP with us, if you want to support us in that way, that'd be great. And then also, if you do LARP with us, the cheapest way to get membership is to get it through Patreon as well. So that could be something that would interest, people who do LARP with us as well. So I just want to put that out there. And also we are on Facebook and YouTube too. So check out our, all our social media stuff and subscribe, like, whatever.
Huzzah.
Indeed. And then, did you have any specific subjects?
No, not really.
Okay. And you?
Just my carrots. Where are they?
I didn't get you any carrots.
They're around.
Yeah.
Where's my carrots, Brandon? You promised me carrots.
You got to look around.
Do I need to go back to his last podcast?
You can if you want.
Do we need to roll the tape?
And reference
roll
the
the
missing
tape.
carrots. So yeah, we'll have to find your carrots later. What about you? Do you have anything specific you thought you're just kind of here for a commentary? Did you have anything?
I don't think really. Commentary is always good.
Okay, and then we'll get to the suggestion box at the end of it. So we'll just do a recap, and then we'll do the one topic that I have as long as it takes us, or as close as we get to an hour, and then we'll stop once we start getting near the, we got about 15 minutes left, and then we'll do the suggestion box. So I guess we'll just go into the questions that we have for you, which is mainly, how long have you LARPed with Phlarp? How long have you been with Phlarp?
Let's see. Phlarp would probably be... I came back for a little while. Probably like 3, maybe 4 years.
And that's since you...
That's like cumulative. I've been LARPing for about 10 years now.
Right.
But not always with Phlarp.
Right. Okay. And then what do you get out of Phlarp? Like, it's a very open-ended question. So it can be simple or complicated to answer. It's up to you.
It's really nice to be able to step out of my own skin for a while, and be somebody else. I really enjoy the physical aspect of it. I was never really very athletic, and this was always more right up my alley than like playing baseball or something. So
cool.
It was always something that I had been interested in. I saw a movie called Role Models.
Great movie.
Yeah, fantastic movie.
Love it.
And I always thought, because they have this big battle scene and all this, and I was like, oh my god, I wish there was something like that around here. I wish there was something like that around here. And so then we, you guys started up, and there were Rob and Trey, a long time ago, were at Mac handing out flyers and trying to drum up support. And so me and a couple of my buddies came out there, and Brandon, you were one of those buddies.
I got recruited like a weekend or two after.
But
Yeah.
But yeah, it was something that I always wanted to do and never had the opportunity. And once I got it, I've been doing it ever since.
Awesome.
Cool. Good answer. And then I guess that's the main two questions. So
Well,
we asked.
the other one that I thought of is,
Oh, okay.
what is your favorite food and your least favorite food?
Okay. Favorite food is mashed potatoes and gravy, or tacos.
What kind of? First off, that's two really different answers.
I know, right?
Second off, what kind of gravy are we talking about?
Brown gravy, almost exclusively brown gravy.
That's fair. Okay.
Yeah. Through
And
a
then
straw if I have to.
for the least favorite food item.
Mayonnaise.
Yeah, that's also fair. I mean, I
By
don't know that
itself,
that's
or
food.
Just like
That's
in,
just a
in-
condiment,
in-
but that's
in
fine. It's a
general,
condiment,
like
sir.
I could take this whole podcast and talk about my least favorite foods. So
So are we talking like just mayonnaise, or does that include like Miracle Whip?
as the whole, all of it just
Because
heavles
that's
my
technically
jeebles.
a salad
All of
dressing,
it just
really.
gives me the heebie-jeebies. All of
Okay.
it.
Okay, fair enough. I just was curious.
I have a question.
Yeah.
What is your favorite food that you make that everybody likes?
So Chris wants me to talk, I think, about my Scotch eggs, which you guys
I love those things.
So after we kind of stopped hanging out, Brandon, I of course I ended up out of my mom's house living on my own with my wife, and so I for the first time was really cooking. I fell in love with it. I love to cook. And a Scotch egg is like Irish pub food.
Oh yeah, no, I know it. It's a
Oh, okay,
soft-boiled
awesome.
egg with
Wrapped
like
in
covered-
sausage
yeah,
and
yeah, yeah.
breadcrumbs and dip it in all kinds of stuff. Like
except for mayonnaise.
oh god no.
No mayonnaise.
No.
Get a dollop of mayonnaise, ruin your Scotch eggs.
Ugh. But
For
he's
him,
been
they will.
Chris has been trying to get me to make them for a while, and you know what? I might bring some out sometime soon,
Bro.
just for Chris.
I appreciate that. You know, I totally love Scottish. Is it Scotch or Scottish?
It's Scotch.
Scotch.
Scotch eggs. Okay. I totally love he made them one time. It's been about a year.
Yeah, so I've made them and brought them out to a game day twice. Once was when Alvin got married?
Yes.
Yeah, I brought it to his reception because they went over really well when I had brought them out to LARP. I will say
The other time was when we won the like Battle for the Crown game. It wasn't actually Battle for the Crown.
yeah
Contest
yeah,
of Charters.
yeah.
That's what it was.
that's
Yeah.
what it was.
I will say I took some. Was it last Christmas or the year before?
This past Christmas.
To her family is a bunch of uppity. Never mind. They seemed almost offended that I brought. They were like, "What is this?" And I explained it, and they were just like, "Ugh." And I was like, "Well, to you too." But
I will say
Not
that
very
like my
receptive.
immediate family liked them. It was
Yeah.
just the rest of the family did
it
not.
really hurt my feelings. I know none of them are ever probably going to hear this, but just in case, you really hurt my feelings that day.
Did that cut deep?
It really did, and I will hold that grudge.
That would be disappointing to bring something thinking
Oh, because I made a giant. Because so
that people are going to appreciate it. Not only do they not appreciate it,
Right.
but they're like
they're like,
questioning why
"Ugh,"
you
but
even
like
brought it.
Yeah.
for just making 4 of these things is a pound of sausage,
Oh wow.
and I made like
That's a
20.
lot of
I made like
sausage.
20 of them. So
Yeah, I've got a really big family.
Those things are like almost what softball
oh,
size.
they're about after they get done cooking. Yeah, they're about a softball, but they fill you up.
Yeah, I guess I'll have to try and make a barter with you sometime. I'll make my buffalo chicken dip because I know you like it.
I don't think I've ever had it because another one of my big boogaboos is cream cheese.
Okay, we'll talk later.
Mostly,
Yeah,
doesn't
like-
like cream cheese?
it's mostly like a
Apparently this guy
consistency.
is
It's mostly like a consistency thing because like consistency is a really big deal for me when I'm eating food.
Yeah,
But
texture's very
it-
important.
fun fact, like if I don't know it's in there, I'll go. But the second somebody's like, "Oh yeah, it's got cream cheese in it," it's just like it curdles in my stomach. I'm just like, "Eh." Can't do it anymore.
To be fair, he did say that he could go on like the whole podcast and talk about the foods he didn't like. So.
I mean, that's fair. So maybe we should move on.
Yeah.
Moving on.
We want to talk about what happened today?
Yeah, we'll do the recap, and then I want to retract my entire statement about going over first level abilities because I realized we never went over basic combat. We went over like a game day and what it consists of a game day, but for somebody that's just listening and doesn't understand how combat works, it's probably like totally useless. So
Okay.
we're gonna take a step back and we'll do just general combat basically. But that's after the recap. So yeah, the recap. I guess how many people did we have this weekend?
That's a good question. I would say around 20 again.
Yeah,
20,
yeah. Especially when I showed up, there was a really decent amount of people that were there.
I mean, even the very last game we played and a lot of people had left, there was still, 11 or 12 players for that. So
yeah, that's always nice to see, especially because once, for anybody out there that doesn't know, once it gets around wintertime, games really slow down, and it's hard to get people to come out, which it's, for obvious reasons, but sometimes it can be really hard to pick those numbers back up.
I mean, they come back up in the spring, but the other thing that's important too is that I think we need to start telling these people, especially the people that are going after XP, that that's the time you really gain your XP.
Yes.
That's when you make a big dent on other people, because if you're coming out and there's only 6 people out, well, first off, we're probably going to play more games.
Yeah.
Right.
That's the first thing. The second thing is you're also getting XP hourly that no one else is getting.
Mm-hmm.
And so I feel like we need to start telling these people, like, hey, you don't want to come out because it's cold or whatever, but just understand you're going to get passed up pretty decently in the XP race.
When compared to the people that do commit during the winter.
Yeah, and then don't come back in the spring and be like, oh, why is he 3,000 XP ahead of me?
Right. Well, and the really cool thing about wintertime too is if you do this sort of thing, really to kind of get to show off and wear like really elaborate costumes, that is the best time to do it because you can add layers and fur, especially if you're going for any kind of like Nordic Viking thing. It's just the best time of the year to do it because you have the freedom to wear all of that, and you're not baking in the sun. It's a really wonderful time for you to be able to be out in full costume.
Exactly.
And if you're not the greatest fighter like me, then like with less people out, there's more of a chance that you could actually like win games and get more XP from that.
That's true. Absolutely true.
Yeah, that's definitely both those are both really good points. The not overheating in your costumes, like you said, is really cool. That you can just add as many layers as you have for your costume. Don't have to worry about overheating.
Yeah, literally to your comfort level. If you're somebody that gets cold really easily, you have the most freedom in the wintertime to really go crazy with your costume.
Right. All right.
So we had a costume contest today, like we'll have every Sunday. We almost forgot, but we didn't.
Yeah. No, but we did forget to post, or I failed to post any pictures with the last costume. So
we had a lot of people jump up there for it too, though, and that was really nice.
That's good. I mean, I'm okay with that.
We did do the change last week. We talked about changing it to the anonymous voting, and
Which
I think that went better.
I liked that a lot.
Yeah, that one's a lot.
I feel like it kind of cut down the time that it took to do the contest too. Everything was kind of like smooth and streamlined.
It also like it cut down on people just like staring people down for votes.
Yes.
Rather than
Yeah, it wasn't more of a popular vote kind of situation,
Right.
like we had talked about before, where it's all like, hey, you better pick me. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't one of those situations. It was literally like, okay.
Yeah, and we had some really, really good costumes up there. Caden, I love seeing him in costume. He's added so many layers.
Yeah, Lucian has a really, really cool costume.
Lucian, I'm
Lucian.
sorry.
Yep.
Yeah, his costume is really good and really elaborate, and I like that he was out there, jumped up there in it, and I like
Spartacus. Spartacus had a cool costume
Yeah, he
too.
His
So
costume was
I mean,
awesome.
he won first place. So Spartacus took first, Lucian took second, and then Gregor actually took third place in our costume contest today.
Yep. Thank you guys.
Good job, Gregor. And that was a 3-way tie for third.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, so
So-
we had to re-vote on that one, but
Which I do really like Wilhelm's costume. It really fits for the kind of character he's playing, and I actually really like that, like fake chainmail that he has.
Mm-hmm.
I think it really kind of pulls things together. He needs a belt that would really like break up the white, and like, I think that would look really good. If you're out there listening, Wilhelm, a belt would be just chef's kiss.
And then we had, I guess, two new people, but we also had two.
Well, we had a patrol that I
returning
thought went
people.
well. I thought it
Yeah,
went well.
yeah, I really enjoyed. I really like initiation. I love the patrol.
Mm-hmm.
It's really fun. I like getting to be a big orc. It makes me happy.
I will say that typically when Gregor is out there, I'll try to choose him as far as like one of my
commanding orc.
yeah, because he likes to get loud and he likes to, and it works. Like it
He's
works.
just really good at yelling at people.
I mean, that's fair, but he seems to be that seems to be his niche as an orc. He does a really good job at it, so I try to choose him.
Yeah,
I
and-
appreciate it.
decision.
And I was
appreciate it.
playing off that too whenever I heard you saying, "What does make the blood what makes the
Yeah,
grass
yeah,
grow?"
that was what
Yeah.
Wilhelm started that, and it was funny because I was actually literally just about to say like water the grass with their blood, and he was just like, what makes the grass? I was like, yes, okay, perfect.
Yeah,
It was like he read my mind.
yeah, because that's, believe it or not, he is also a veteran, which Veterans Day is coming up on Friday. And believe it or not, in the military, that's one of the things we always said is what makes the grass grow? Blood makes the grass grow.
Yeah.
So that's,
It was a really nice touch, and I really like playing an orc because I like getting to kind of direct everybody to try to make sure that the new players get the best experience out of it that they can.
It's a valuable position. To
Yeah.
play.
And you know what? I didn't think of it last week when we had a different guest on. We had Heston on. But, I mean, here's a prime example of two people that were there to listen to me say what I said beforehand, which I feel like I try to be very clear on what I want everyone to do. And it's pretty simple instructions, and as long as you follow these pretty simple instructions, it usually goes pretty clear.
And especially today, because I know last week you guys talked about things that you wanted to bring up during when you were talking to us before everything started, just to make sure everything went smoother. And I really think that helped a lot.
Oh, the
I
fighting
think
defensively.
yes,
thing?
I
Yes.
think that was.
I did say that today.
I think that was a really nice addition to that. And honestly, I really do feel like this was one of the better patrols that I've been part of. I think it was really good today.
That's good.
Yeah, I liked it a lot. I also really enjoy, because I don't do it all the time, but I really enjoy when you come out. I like running up to you and going, he's not even that big, and then you just like you hit me, and then I just sell the crap out of him. Just, oh God, he's that big. He's that big. That's my my favorite part.
I really like when people the smaller people run up at you and you just like throw them over your shoulder.
I've done that a couple times.
that's
Yeah.
Yeah,
hilarious.
it's really fun, and it's being able to sell that is really nice. And I want to at some point try to start doing some RP that involves a little bit more physical, like not slugging somebody, but I was in a lot of like theater productions in high school and like stage fighting and stuff. I would love to show some people some of that because I mean, Chris knows, like me and Alvin and Cran, we've pulled off some really nice looking stuff that I really think once we get
You and Ty did some.
yeah, me and Ty have done some really good stuff. I think that if we get role play going really good, I think it could be some stuff that would just bring like a new layer and a new level to it.
Yeah. And for anyone listening, he's referring to Lord Rainwalker,
Sorry, yeah.
Raven, and you mentioned somebody else too, but
John.
Jonathan
John Trapp. Yeah.
Yep.
Which for anybody out there that doesn't know, Lord Rainwalker is my lord. He, Raven, and myself and Sloan, we make up Black Rose currently.
Yeah.
I definitely like as far as patrol goes, I definitely like you being out there as an orc because, you know, your role play aspect of like, you know, how you speak it totally, like, to me, it brings your character out more, 100%, because you kind of have like that Russian, orc kind of thing, and so when you speak, and like you said, it's like spill their blood. It just totally brings it out, and I'm like, hell yeah, and it's like because I don't really get to combat, so like I'll go out and I'm like oh I'll help you, I'll try and help defend, and like today on that patrol after you told them defensively fight, I saw that.
Great.
I 100% saw that.
Good.
So it's definitely been working.
Yeah.
And like we said last week, fight as hard as you can, but fight defensively.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, that's
they
what-
did that.
Another really great thing about Patrol, at least as far as I'm concerned, it really kind of opens you up if you're a goblin or an orc to just kind of do like wild and crazy stuff, because it doesn't matter, you're supposed to die.
Yeah.
So today I went in on Wolf Moon, I believe, the fellow with the mask, and I just like rushed him and I cannot pronounce Adarius's name.
That's Sir Ednick.
Sir Ednick.
Yeah,
It's spelt
Sir-
crazy.
Don't
but
Right.
it's
think about the
pronounced
spelling.
Sir
Yeah.
Ednick.
Sir
Just
Ednick.
Sir
Okay.
Ednick.
Is it supposed to be Sir like the title and then Ednick, or one?
It's not
like
spelled
Sir
like
Ed-
that, but if you
Right.
say it like that, it's exactly
Well,
how he
see,
says
I,
it.
I thought it might be some kind of, because it's spelled almost like it's like Gaelic or something, and I
He
was
said he took it from something. I don't
Okay.
know what.
I thought it was
but
supposed to be like a
Um,
pun or something.
it probably is.
either he came in and he took my arm and then he killed me, and then I was like mid run. So I kind of like spun in the leaves and dropped to a sitting position with my sword on my, and you just get to do all kinds of.
I saw that and it looked dope as hell.
I when I get killed as an orc, I fly back and hit the ground, lay in the leaves. It's just really fun. Like it's a genuinely fun part of the day. And I feel like the more fun we have with it, the more fun the new people are going to have with it. And the more fun the new people have with it, the more likely they are to come back and join us
Yeah.
again.
Exactly.
And player retention is really important.
Yes.
so.
Yeah.
Well, I remember my first patrol back in 2015 when we were still at property, and that is what sold it for me. Like it was only like my second time out at LARP ever. The first time was out at the park. And I just like I was like, yeah, this is my place.
Yeah, and well, it's really kind of the perfect way to kick off a new person's visit.
Experience.
Because you get everybody else out of the pavilion, and then North has a really good accent, so his character is just there, and so you get an experience starting with role play, and then you get a fun. Because we're working out in the lore, like the stories behind our events and stuff, but that doesn't come out organically when we're starting the event. So they get a real reason about why this is happening, and they get, so it's the perfect way to start things off for somebody. And I think that the whole time that it's been done, that it's been wonderful, and I think it's really good for new players.
Yeah, and in my defense, whether my accent is good or not, there, because Brandon was giving me terrible faces whenever
Dobie.
he was saying that.
I said nothing.
No, but your eyes said
Yeah, you have that problem where your face doesn't filter anything. I have that same problem too. My eyebrows tell you all what I'm thinking whenever I'm talking to somebody about something. Anyway, but what I was going to say is whether my accent's good or not, it allows them to have permission. It shows them that they have permission to be like,
and that's
a little goofy.
important.
I'm doing
100%
it.
True.
That's important. Because I've obviously the first time you step out there, no matter if you have, like, if you play a lot of video games or you have a background that involves that stuff, there's always this little like fear or anxiety where you're like, oh, I don't know if I want to, like, how deep into this do I want to get? And from the moment you sign that waiver and you start, you're given permission to get as far deep as you want to go. Some people don't want to go very deep, and that's totally fine. It's a game for anybody. Anybody can come out, and it doesn't matter if you use an accent, or if you put on a costume. We love seeing you in costume, but we would rather just have you there.
Yeah, literally one of our veteran players today told me during the initiation, or right before the initiation, I don't really do that kind of stuff. And I was like, that's fine, man. Just go out there and do the best that you can do.
Right.
I mean, what else are you supposed to tell them? Like, if you, as long as you go out there and you're not making a joke or a mockery of it, it's fine.
And here's the thing. For anybody that hears this that may, be a newer player, or maybe you're listening to this and you've never done this before and you want to know and you want to come out, we're not going to make fun of you because we're all doing it too. I speak in this ridiculous Russian accent when I play, and it's...
Okay, do it. Show
I can't hear it.
Yeah.
Do you want me to do mine? Does that make it better for you?
Make things very, very better for Gregor.
There you go.
Very better.
Perfect.
So
You
you're
know,
not...
You have to say the whole thing now. I'm just
Now you must stay in care.
But you're not going to come out and do something that, we're not going to just ruin it for you, because we've all been there. And if somebody would have done it to me when I first came out, I don't want it to come back. And like North said, player retention is so important. We want you to come out and have the time of your life, whether or not you want to get dressed up and use an accent or not.
Like, we understand the stakes whenever we're doing that. For a new person, we understand what's at stake,
Right.
to make sure that it's really good for them. And I'm not a psychologist, but I would venture to say that there's probably a lot of psychological stuff going on there about breaking down, like, what do they call that? Basically misconceptions about about what LARP is, and about the community itself and stuff and whatever. I don't know, like, because maybe I'm projecting here, but I didn't realize it was like unscripted at all. Like, I thought LARP was like a scripted thing, that like almost like a reenactment or something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. And the idea of it being completely unscripted is what made me feel like, well, that's really cool. You're just basically
Improving.
Improv. Exactly.
And
you're doing improv on the fly.
And the best role play that you can do is that off the fly stuff. It just feels organic, because the other person literally has no idea what you could be doing. And you could come off with anything, and they have to react to it. Sometimes it may not land right, but sometimes you get lightning in a bottle, and you just get some beautiful
interactions
stuff
and stuff.
And it's and there are people that play this game that are from all walks of life in their regular lives. I don't know if Brandon will care about me mentioning this, but when Brandon is one of my favorite people on the entire planet. First off, I don't know if you know that or not.
Well, I appreciate it.
Yeah, he's a very good friend of mine. I've known him for a long time now, and
Sometimes I feel like you like Brandon better than he likes.
Vix is my wife. If anybody out there does not know that, but Brandon, he was really hesitant about the kind of nerdy stuff at first, because he played football in high school. He was very much a jock. And I remember him telling me that he did not want his friends from back where he was living. He did not want them to know that it was something that he did, and that's okay. Like, you do not have to be like all about this kind of thing 24/7. It's perfectly okay for you to be somebody that's not normally that kind of person, and come out and it's a place where you can just let go of some inhibitions, and it's really cathartic, honestly.
Right.
It is.
Stigma was the word I was looking for.
Yeah,
The stigma surrounding LARP.
Yeah, and as somebody from that background, like, I'll tell you, I still love football. I still am in a fantasy league with my buddies every year. I love that kind of stuff. I'm a big sports guy, but I love Phlarp every bit as much as I do sports. Like they are equal to me. They're just different.
Well, yeah,
And
it's
so, like-
possible to do both.
Yeah, of course it is. But I feel like people do have that stigma where, oh, well, I like sports and I don't like the nerdy stuff. Well, I'm just going to tell you that, like, I got, like, almost as much as a competitive, like, feeling from this LARP thing as I did sometimes from sports.
And trust me when I say he really did.
Yeah,
he really did get the
is kinda like
competitive
that.
And you
feeling.
can cross a line sometimes, I think. I think
Oh,
it
definitely,
ruins
definitely.
certain things for sure. But I'm just saying, like, you can do both. And so, like, if you're one of those people like I was that was hesitant because, well, it's pretty nerdy. Well, yeah, it is pretty nerdy, but it's also pretty cool.
Yeah, and
And
you
super
know,
fun.
all any of us would ask is that if it sounds anything like something you would be interested in, just come and give it a try. And it may not be for you. You know, you may get out there and you may realize, hey, like, it's really cool what you guys are doing. I'd just rather do it in Skyrim or something, and that's perfectly okay. But you know, if it's something that you have an interest in at all, like, try it. Like, let that flag fly. We're not going to judge you.
Yeah, there could be plenty of appealing aspects that aren't necessarily revolving around like even the role play or anything like that.
Yeah,
It could just be
yeah.
for physical or a community even.
A
Like,
community, it might just be a place for you to air your creativity. You know, there are people that play with us that make costumes. My wife makes costume pieces, and she makes all these elaborate things that let her be creative, and we just like sharing that with everybody.
Exactly.
I really, one of my favorite things about the game is weapon making. I love crafting, and I feel like I'm pretty good at it. And I really enjoy being able to be someplace where I can take something that I've made with my own two hands, and I can use it in the game and let people see that, and it really means a lot to me to be able to do that.
Well, and then also you're the lore guy too, so you got that creativity.
Right,
Yep.
right. And there are all kinds of ways that you can let your creativity fly in a game like this. Like, like Vixie was saying, I'm writing a lot of the lore
yeah, feel free to
North.
plug yourself there.
Yeah.
And we've also plugged you, too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he's got me. He'll give me writing prompts for what he wants, and I'm trying to get him something every month. Hopefully, we'll be letting you guys see the fruits of that labor really soon.
I tried
And,
to read some of it in character on like a thing, but I'm gonna have to redo it. So, but yeah, I'm gonna release it soon. If nothing else, at least in the written format, because I want to get the
Yeah.
lore book together and write a book and have a book of lore like we have the books of others.
Yes, and I love
So
I
great.
love I did get to see the book that you bought, Chris, for
Yes.
that. I love it. It's gonna be fantastic when we get it all put together. And then in that vein, about me getting to help you out with that, which is an opportunity that I really appreciate. I want to say again, I guess publicly, I talked to North about this today, but I really respect the how freely you're accepting help from players. If you guys don't know, North really does take all of our suggestions seriously. North and I have had a lot of conversations lately about ways that we can improve certain games. He's talked with a player today about an ability, and he, in that moment, took that suggestion and made it into something that I do agree it was balanced. So I respect very much the amount
Open-mindedness and
of open-mindedness and the like loosened grip on control, because this is coming from somebody that I have run a game before. That is something that will kill your game. Is not taking suggestions to heart and trying to keep all of that control to yourself. It's running a game like this, especially as it gets bigger. It cannot be a single person thing. It's like a child, and this very much is like a child for you, North, because you've been running it and being so deep in it for so long. I mean, it takes a village. So being able, the suggestion box is like a fantastic thing, and I have a lot of respect to the way that you've opened that up.
cool. Yeah, I think if it doesn't take very much resistance for somebody to shut down an idea,
Mm-hmm.
and then for a player to feel like they're disenfranchised from like the community and the whole like thing of it, and just be like, well, man, this isn't, I have a problem with this thing, and he's totally shutting it down, and there's no way to do anything about it, and he's not even offering me. Because before, whenever I would take ideas, I might take them to, the other guy that I was doing it with at the time. But then that would be like, it was almost like a gatekeep, like where you were talking about gatekeeping. It's kind of like gatekeeping in a way, and I realized I was doing that. And my greatest asset is basically to listen to what the players want. I mean, that is my greatest asset. Like, I want them to tell me what they want, because that's what's going to keep them there, So.
Yeah, so definitely, guys, be making use of the suggestion box. Any ideas that you have, please feel free to share them. North is very good about taking other people's opinions and ideas into consideration.
I'll say this podcast too is a great place to be able to take something that somebody has, like the Staying Esquire thing that we talked about last podcast,
I
and
agree.
expand on it,
Yeah.
so that everybody understands the reasons why we're doing it.
Right.
Not just this is what we're gonna do. It's like,
well,
this
and
is
because it
why.
can be really difficult to get the point of that across. On an event day when
There's
there's
ton of
so
stuff
much
going on.
trying to go
Right.
on and trying to keep events going and make sure that there's not too much downtime and getting because you guys, North and Brandon, you guys are always busy at the computer, making sure everybody's signed in, making sure everybody's ready for the games.
We're out there spinning
weapons
plates.
checking. Yeah, so
Brandon
it's-
helps a lot, though. I will say. I was telling him the other day that us doing one person doing all the things we both do is way too much. But us each doing one thing is almost like not too easy, but it's very casual.
Well,
you know?
yeah, and I know about that, which is why in games that I don't play, I try to help you guys out too.
Yeah,
Cool.
But
If you
I
need it.
definitely do agree with the podcast being a really good place to hash all of that out, because there's just not enough time in an event day to.
No, there's not. And I know that Brandon and I kind of talked about it, and I think we have talked about it. And like you said, being able to have one person doing one thing and then another person doing something else. And like today, it was like Brandon and I were doing weapons checks. Or sorry, North and I were doing weapons checks, and Brandon was checking them in. And it was like, I think that helped streamline the process.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah,
And it was
definitely.
so much easier. It was like, okay, we can get everybody out on the field. We can get them checked in. Then we can call the game and let it go. And it was like,
Yeah.
snap, snap, snap. We're done. We're going.
Well, and another beautiful thing about that is, it really kind of mitigates the possibility of burnout. If one person's doing all, it's so easy
Yeah.
in keeping track of everything that you have to do to keep a game moving.
Right.
Doing it by yourself, you can get burnout on it so bad, and that's another reason why games fail.
Right.
It really does. It's really good that there's a little support system for you to make sure that everything is spread out kind of evenly, so that not one person is in charge of way too much.
And it kind of goes along with what you were, saying about being more open-minded and stuff. Crap, I forgot what the main point I was going to make.
This happens a lot with him. Just so you
I
know,
should have
guys.
just wrote it down. I had a bunch of other stuff I wrote down here. I'm going to go back and address these few things that I said, or I was thinking.
Okay, cool.
The fighting defensively thing, the reason that's so cool is because it does allow them to go all out. They can still, you can kind of go all out and fight defensively if you're not tagging somebody. I mean, they might not be able to get in on you for very long, I guess, or for very much, rather. You might have to
Right.
eventually be like, okay, I'm going to ease it up a little bit because they can't get in on me at all.
Yeah.
So they don't get discouraged. But And then the other thing I was going to say is, have you noticed that we're trying to role play more? We were talking about how to increase role play, and we figured we come to the conclusion that some of that could be the only thing we could really do as a group is to us do it ourselves. And so we were trying to role play whenever we like starting games and different things.
I really like you did it a couple weeks ago, I know for sure, but when you're doing rumors in the tavern,
Oh yeah.
I liked that a lot. I thought that was really smart, and I think that more stuff like that could definitely really help things out. I think it would be really cool if we had somebody that would play like an NPC sometimes, like some kind of, and it could be different people each time, just like like people that come off from far off lands, and these are things that are happening out in the world, and it's a good way to. I know
like
that
world building. Kind
yeah,
of?
world building, getting like quests started. I know in LARP, one of the things that comes up always really quickly is that people want like kind of quest stuff because
Yeah.
they really do view it like they're just playing out a video game, and there's nothing wrong with that. And you know, if we can at some point get something like that kind of built up with like an NPC coming through and just could even be like some kind of random like merchant, like Khajiit has wares if you have coin, like that kind of thing. I think that could really add a lot to getting a lot more roleplay started.
And sorry, and
no.
And going back to the rumor thing, so like I feel like I know a lot of it and just like what's going on around town, but I feel like some of it should be interjecting like about some of the characters, like with Gregor's backstory, he fought a bear.
Mm-hmm.
Like you can't not go into a tavern and talk about that.
Right. Or Gregor is an assassin. He's a mercenary. He will kill people for money, stuff like that. You know, getting word out around that, and somebody's like, "Hey, I really don't like this Eric the Red fella. He just rustles my jimmies in the wrongest way possible. Can you do something about that?" And
that's
like
a given every
promotes
week.
Yeah.
So
role play interaction.
Yeah, and that's I mean that's something that it's so like low effort to do on anybody's part just to get like a little bit going, and then that little bit kind of snowballs into something bigger. I've kind of found in some experiences that I've had to play in this game for 10 years. It's just that getting inner character interaction is like fantastic.
See,
I agree.
and like it's almost kind of devastating sometimes because normally, you know, Brandon is trying to get everybody checked in, and by the time we get out on the field, he's double checking to make sure, you know, he has everybody. So I'm trying to give him that time, and I'm trying to get out there, and it's usually for last man. And I'm like, you know, that's when I'm trying to get my character. I'm like, you know, I'm trying to get everybody amped up, and it's like you have two people that are all like, yay, and it's like, come on, man, you know, we got to do better than this.
You were doing a good job today
So
with your
something that
announcement.
we've
trying.
had a lot of success with in the past is actually doing that what makes the grass grow.
As a chant to
as
kinda
a
get
as a
them pumped.
chant to get things. I've over like 3 different games like we've used that, and any veteran player from any of those games will remember doing that, and so we've had a lot of success with that in the past as like to get them hyped up for the game.
Okay.
Like when you were out there and you were saying that one thing, like, and you were trying to get them to do like some kind of "Are you ready?"
Yeah.
Like you could use that when you could
I'm
say, "What
always
makes the
like-
grass grow?" And then the people that know what you're talking about will say, "Blood makes the grass grow."
Yeah.
And then you can
Eventually-
say,
and
"I
you
can't
get-
hear you," and then
And
you'll
then
say it again.
eventually more people
Yeah.
will get in on it.
You get louder, and the veterans know,
And then they'll
like
scream.
the veterans
Blood
know
makes
that you know you start, and then usually it's like 3 maybe 4 times that the guy running the show will be like, "What makes the grass grow?" And then by eventually, at least the veterans are screaming like just
Yeah.
battle ready, and they get hyped up into a frenzy, and it's something that we've had a lot of experience with in the past. And I only literally just thought about it because you mentioned.
Right.
Otherwise, I would have said something about it like a long
I mean,
time.
in that case, then you know what? I mean, if it works, I'll steal it. I'll own it. I'll steal that. But you know,
I didn't know it originated for some kind of military thing.
I
I
mean,
had no idea
and it may not have. I just know that like
that they did say that too.
I went through basic training in '97, so I mean that just shows my age right there. And that's what we did. Like, you know,
Yeah,
whenever we were doing like pugils and different kind of trainings, it's like that's what was said, because I was in the infantry and it was all like, you know, stab, you know,
Yeah.
kill, slaughter, you know, and it's like, okay,
Grinder.
But yeah, you can get a
But,
really good pop with
I mean,
with that.
I think I'm gonna try and steal that, and then I know a lot of the people that have shields, you know, they try and make that pop.
Man, we've gotten
We
gotten
need- we
away
need-
from that.
we
I
have.
really
The way they would
Yeah.
slap shields.
yeah.
So I think I honestly think that right there, getting that full effect of everybody amped up.
Oh yeah.
I think that's what will actually help.
Oh yeah.
It might help a little bit with role play, but I think it will help with our game day.
Yeah. Oh, definitely.
Oh, yeah.
Well, here's the thing. Energy is infectious.
Yes.
It is. It just is. And in the same vein of like showing new players something like wild and crazy with the first thing they step on the field with being the initiation and the patrol. It's the same thing. If you can get the rest of us just like blood frenzied, screaming and just ready to tear things up when an event starts, that's infectious. It gets it's excitement.
Yeah. Like you can ask Matt and Brandon. When I first showed up to LARP today, I was not feeling well. Like I looked tired. I was not having a great day. And then after we got done with like patrol and last man standing, like I was fine. Good day. It was great.
Yeah.
Like I had energy.
Yeah, I really do think it can bring something to the table and really kind of elevate things, because I know that a lot of people that play get kind of frustrated because when an event starts, not everybody, it's just not everybody doesn't do what we would all like them to do and just like get into it. There's a lot of standing around. Yeah. I will be completely honest. Nobody came up to me. Last man standing. I got second place today, and
thank you for that.
I threw my cup like twice maybe, and only interacted with like one part because nobody would come up to me. Right. And I know that that's a two-way street. I could have went looking for the fight too, but it is a thing that I know some people have expressed frustration about before, and I really do think that a lot of it is that energy. If we get that energy up, it's just infectious. You can't be around that and not get amped.
Right. Yeah. No, I mean, that's the thing is I know that a lot of times game day kind of seems so lax. And so, like, almost like a block kind of thing. And it's like, no matter what, I'm like, I need to get these guys amped up. I need, and a lot of times, it's just like, okay, we're going to go play this game. No, man, we're going to battle. We're going to train. That's what we're doing. That's what we're here for. We're here to train, and we're here to battle so that the next time we go on patrol, we're going to kick some orc butt.
And speaking of like the blah feeling, something I've noticed the past couple of weeks is that we've been having kind of a drag between games. I feel like when you just set like a 5 or 10 minute timer and then just immediately get another game out.
We could do that.
It is another thing that I've heard some
more
whispers
games
about.
Whisper.
Is trying
we try to do one per hour for every hour that we're going to be there, so it's only 4 games. And I think we did hit that just barely, but yeah,
right,
I mean we could try to get a little bit
but
more.
We also
I try to play that by ear, because I feel like if I just start another game up immediately, sometimes that is
yeah. I feel like though
much,
we give everybody a break to go and like get a drink, and then everybody kind of
gets too comfortable.
Yeah. Where I feel like if we were like, hey, another game is 100% starting.
Like we could time
15 minutes.
Yeah, right. Yeah. We could time the downtime and be like, hey, in 30 minutes we're going to start the next game.
Everybody will know, hey, in 15, 20 minutes, there's definitely going to be a game. So if I'm going to sit down and rest, if I'm going to get a drink, I need to do it right now and be ready for when they call for everyone to line up. And that could also really help affect the energy. Because I know that like one player in particular today was very dissatisfied with the amount of time that went between games. So, which and I understand. Like sometimes that's not feasible, because sometimes something comes up. Sometimes you guys like legitimately do have to be. Have to take some time away to solve something or get something figured out.
Right.
And so, but at the same time, guys, if you're listening to this, that is the opportunity for anybody to just get up and go out and spar, campaign, go out and if you're not getting games started quickly enough to fit your your taste, go out and fight. Go out and role play. Just start something.
Go out there and stand out in the middle
Actually,
of the field.
Yeah,
I'd
and I
like
feel
to add
that's
something here.
Oh,
if you don't mind. Earlier when Matt here was talking about why the initiation's so fun, even for the people doing the initiation, he mentioned that one of the reasons that it's so fun is because you get to role play, and you just get to role play and do whatever you want. Well, the thing is, you can do that with your character too.
Mm-hmm.
If we start making more of an effort to tell people that campaign is active when there's not a game going on, and they can walk out there and they can play, they can role play with each other, their characters, whatever, create friends, create enemies, whatever you want to do.
I still have a pouch of candy that can be looted if you kill me in campaign.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you for telling me.
So the whole point of what I'm trying to say is that feeling we get when we have so much fun playing goblins and orcs and ogres or
Could
whatever.
really be gotten.
You could do that all day. It doesn't have to be like we're having fun during one event. Like you could go out and role play, and you're going to have just as much fun as your character as you were a goblin or an orc or whatever.
And that's something that I feel that like clan leader and like second in command and veteran especially should be pushing forward for, instead of just like standing around and talking like we have been doing. So maybe that's something
Like
we
doing
should
it
start
themselves
Yeah.
to promote
Yeah.
it amongst other people.
And
Like,
and
to get
just
more people doing it.
and just something from the character creation aspect of everything. If you find that you're going out there and you're playing your character in the off time and you're not having fun with it, make a change to your character, guys. You don't have to set your personality in stone.
True.
We
Lucian
as
changed his character 3 times.
we as people, we evolve as we grow. We shed some personality traits and pick up other ones, and there's nothing
so too
wrong.
Can your character.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with making a change to your character if you feel like it's not working.
That's true.
And I thought about what I was saying earlier, and then we're going to have to get to the suggestion box because we only got 10 minutes left.
Oh God,
roughly.
I'm so sorry, guys.
It's all right. I mean, it's okay if we go over a little bit. I just try to keep it within bite-sized enough to be able to.
Right. I have really monopolized a lot of this though, and I'm so sorry.
No, that's all right. It's cool. I appreciate the, you're the co-host or whatever anyway, so it's cool. Like I'd like to hear from much of you as possible, so it's cool. I'm not trying to say you're doing anything wrong. Anyway, what I was trying to say earlier is if me being more open to stuff too allows me to utilize those players, all players, for help. Like when that guy, I don't remember what his character name,
Spartacus?
Arizel, I think was
Oh,
his name or
what you're talking
something.
about.
It was it's Kevin.
Oh yeah, Arzel.
Rand's brother.
Arzel, yeah.
He came out, and I was like, come out and ref for us. Like, I don't care if we got more refs than players, honestly. Like, hey, fine.
Honestly, the
at
more
least,
eyes, the better sometimes,
Yeah,
if I'm being straight with you.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, if we had enough referees to stand around the entire field and watch everybody, then oh well. I mean,
My platform is a marshal for every player. eyes on everyone.
Yeah. So yeah, that allows me to be able to utilize people. Like I don't just say, well, I don't know if I think of something, I'll let you know. I say, hey man, we can use referees. You can take pictures. Like that other girl that was there, that was somebody brought with them. I don't know if it was their sister or what.
Gosh, yes, pictures. Oh, if somebody wants to come out and take pictures during
Yeah,
events. First off, pictures, videos. If you want to come and spectate, all of those things are things that anybody can do to make the game richer. Because when we have somebody watching, or we know there's a camera out there, we want to put on a show. And because obviously we want to put on a show. We go out dressed in neon colors and with leather and metal strapped to us, and so it's anybody out there that is not a player, or even if you're a player and you just don't feel like playing the event that day, whip out your camera, take some pictures.
Yeah,
take a
and
video.
we'll give you XP for the event as if you played. So,
like, please, it would be fantastic, and it gives you as a player, like if you're on camera, you
gives you incentive to role play more.
There's that, but also like you can look back at the video and you can't really see what you look like when you fight. If you're your own biggest critic, if you're watching a video of yourself fighting and you see like, oh, I need to guard this shoulder better, or like, you can really work on bettering yourself by being on a video. So anybody that wants to bring a camera out and just take snapshots, take video, record events for us, that's fantastic. I would love to see the Facebook page just flooded with videos of events. It would be amazing.
And then I guess we're gonna go ahead and get to the suggestion box. I'll do this one first. This person brought this up to me, and then I just said, I don't know, put it in the suggestion box because I'm pretty sure that if you look at the rules, it's basically, does Magic Stone have a minimum size? Does packets have a minimum size? Can they be tiny like our wizard that plays now has?
I don't have an issue with his packets.
I don't necessarily have an issue with his packets, but I think the rule itself does say that they're supposed to be a certain size.
And I could see from a player aspect, the smaller it is, it really does kind of work out better for the person using the packet, because they are hard to kind of keep a beat on, and things happen out there really fast. And it could be like the smaller it is and the harder it is to keep a beat on. You know,
It's hard to tell if it hit you. Is that what you're getting at?
Sometimes, you know,
makes
and
sense.
we've had issues with players, and it happens to everybody, I'm sure. But you know, some players being a little lax about their hit taking. So I just feel like the bigger it is, the easier it is to tell that you definitely got smoked. Like, but
So it could take. I guess that one should. We'll say that one needs reviewed. I need to look and see what that says, and then maybe we'll just talk about it some more or something. Maybe.
I got one here. It says not a fan of all the team games. I mean, right now we have like a set list of games that we're trying to get through. A lot of them are team based. That's just kind of how these things work.
well,
It is difficult, in my opinion, to have a lot of individual type of games. So,
Yeah, I
mean, that's
mean-
something we'll keep in mind. But like, if you have game suggestions for us that are more like individual based, we'd love to hear them.
and
Yeah,
maybe
and-
not even just individual, but like maybe like smaller teams. I know that a lot of people that came from other games, like a 2-man team. I've had people talking about in the last couple of weeks how it would be nice to have like a 2-man. It would have been a great today with like 20 people. We could have had like 10 teams of 2 out there, and
I mean, that
and it's not individual, obviously, but it's not.
it's not so big.
not a
that you
big
just
team.
walk
There's
in.
a lot more variety, and it's a lot easier to break down players that kind of clump together in team-based events. There has been, not so much now, but in the past there has been some balancing problems with making teams for games with 2 teams. But if there was like a 2-man team or a 3-man team where maybe you number people off again so that they're not, buddying up with combos that they know are going to go well, so you don't get Gregor, Rand, and Raven all on the same team. I feel like something like that could really be good. It would diversify things a little bit.
And eventually, it won't matter too much too. Once you get enough people with enough groups, because I mean, to be fair, they are expected to be picked with their teams.
Yeah, for sure.
So-
Sure. But I do know that is something that some people have talked about as far as the team games are concerned, that sometimes it is unbalanced. And there's only so much you can do to mitigate that. I get that. I 100% do. Especially when we're basing part of the teams on like, hey, everybody get with your clan. So
I mean,
just a thought.
that's a good segue into my suggestion, or the one I
Yeah.
have, which is, and I think I know who put this in here. They may be present in this dungeon. Throwy battle.
Okay. I did not write that.
I know who did, but it wasn't.
I did not
They're
write
not
that,
here.
but as a quick, because I did mention it today. So my wife and I, when we got married, we had our wedding after an event day at a different game, and
Theme park.
we got the ability to kind of make events for that day because it was a special day for Vix and I.
Yes.
One of the events that I wrote was called Dagger Storm, and it was a fan favorite actually.
It was.
And
Aerial roulette was fun though.
It was literally just an additional last man standing, but everybody got one throwy. That was it. So you carried a throwy. You could only have one throwee on you at a time, but you could pick up any
Other
throwee.
throwaways.
Yeah, so it wasn't, and it was a big hit. We played it actually pretty often.
Afterward.
After our wedding, every couple weeks somebody was like, "Hey, let's play Dagger Storm." So no, I did not write that one, but I did talk about it today, and I am kind of glad actually that the idea there's interest in it.
Yeah.
I have one that just says "Sticks and Stones." Is that a suggestion for a song or what?
Or is it just
Or is somebody complaining about it?
Or is it a passive aggressive thing?
I got something here I think is somewhat important. It says address people walking out during team games and general attitude issues. I agree. So like, if we set up a game, and it happens sometimes where we'll have an odd number of people during a team game, and so you'll have like 6 versus 5, and then someone on the 5-man team quits, and now it's 6v4, and somebody else quits, and now it's 6v3. That's a problem.
Yeah.
And so I do think that there should be some kind of penalty for people quitting during these team games, whether it be they don't get experience for that particular game or something.
Do you think it would be that difficult to take somebody off the list after they had left the game? Because if not, I'm cool with just not even crediting them for the game. If they're going to walk off halfway through the game in a team-based event,
Right.
and they fuck their team by doing that.
And I feel like if
Sorry
people
for
walk
my-
off,
it's right.
French.
No,
I feel like if people walk off the field in the middle of a game, they shouldn't be allowed to walk back on.
No, I think if
unless they needed like a drink of water.
Yeah, there is.
some
a
people are getting
rule
hurt too
that
during
says-
games a
Yeah.
lot.
Yeah.
I don't know that should necessarily count, but
I agree
They
with that.
Yeah.
The way it's worded is it's if they sit out for over 300 seconds, which is 5 minutes, and they don't re-enter the game, then they can't re-enter the game. But it doesn't say that they don't get XP for it. So
Right.
if somebody got hurt, that would be fine. But if somebody gets mad and quits and doesn't come back after 5 minutes, then yeah, they should forfeit. I think they should forfeit their
Yeah, and I don't have, and
their
I
XP
will
for even playing.
I will
agree
say
with that.
and Brandon can attest to it. I am literally like the poster child for getting angry and having a bad attitude. And it is something that I have tried very, very hard to change over my years of LARPing, because aside from it being pointed out to me, I understand that is a character flaw, that is a defect in my personality that I need to get a rein on. But it happens, guys. Your people get angry, and just the thing is, it doesn't need to. You don't have to explode every time you get angry. It is perfectly acceptable to be upset about something, but it's not really acceptable to take that out on anybody else as a part of the game. And that is something that I myself have had to. It's a lesson I've had to learn, and it's a lesson that I've had to have drilled into my head constantly and consistently. It is okay to get angry. You just got to manage it better, guys.
true that.
I agree.
Yeah, I used to get more, like, there were times where I got angry, but a lot of it, I don't know. I didn't get as angry once I made it less personal, but I mean, I'm projecting my own process, so I mean, I don't know if that would work for everybody.
that is part of it. I do feel like in the events, it is really easy to take something personally. If you're in the middle, and it's like I mentioned earlier, these fights, things start happening quick.
Mm-hmm.
And if you see somebody didn't take a hit, you may not even hit them, but it just looked like they didn't take the hit, and you had to take a death over it. And it is easy to get upset, and it's easy to take these things personally. I'm guilty of it. It's it happens, but it's you can't let that kind of thing control you.
And back to the getting angry thing, like if you know that you've got anger issues, bring somebody with you who's not afraid to check you on it.
There you go.
Because like when Matt gets angry, I will run up to him and be like, hey, you gotta quit your bullshit.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
this isn't
And I'm not
this
going to do
isn't
that.
anything.
I mean, I might be like, take a walk or something, but not,
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's true. Bring a buddy to
Yeah.
help calm you down.
Yeah.
I'll bring a buddy just so that we have more people engaged in this game.
High
Come on.
five that one, bro.
Yeah.
High five.
Get players.
And then this one says something we addressed kind of already. It just says maybe more mindfulness on time. We only did 2 events or so with little RP, a few hours of sitting in the pavilion. So all that's true. I think if we did set a timer when we said a game ends, be like, okay, guys, ready or not, in another 20 minutes, we're going to start another one.
Yeah,
So.
and guys, there's nothing wrong with if that timer comes up and you're not ready, because you can run around too much, you can get exhausted. There's nothing wrong with you sitting out of a game.
Yeah.
You know,
if we're playing a lot more games, you'll have opportunities.
Yeah,
anyway.
that's exactly right.
Yeah.
And like, I don't play every game. Like I'm not a very active person, and so like I will sit out at least one game every week. Like I don't.
I got one here. Suggestion. It says we should play the Bells of Notre Dame playing when we play Sanctuary. Okay, fair enough. It also has a suggestion that we should make the timer 1:30. And then this one confuses me just a little bit. It says Magic Stone should be counted as magic damage, not melee.
So I'll be straight up. I wrote that. So I remember when we first started having the issues with Black Knight. A month, maybe 2 months ago, something like that. Originally it was like you have to use an ability on them that does damage to kill them. And I don't know if it was me, but somebody asked about Magic Stone as a damaging magical ability. And I remember you saying that it was really more like not melee damage, but it was kind of considered
normal
damage. Yeah. Which that's really like a nitpicky thing on my side of things, because like it's like it's a wizard ability, like it's supposed to be magical in nature, but like I also understand why you would make it just like a ranged thing.
Yeah, you can also say
it's nitpicky.
He's just telekinetically amplifying a throw of a rock.
Yeah, it's nitpicky.
And because if I did say it was an ability, everything that says that ignores abilities no longer ignores that one. So like, it would fix Black Knight, but it would also make it go through, say, Magic Stone would be completely unchanged against Achilles' heel. They'd be able to kill you with Achilles' heel just by hitting you right in the chest with it.
Okay. And see that, knowing that, perfect sense. And that's kind of what we were talking about earlier about,
Elaborating.
North, like looking into suggestions.
Expanding
A lot of times, like if you're putting a suggestion in, more often than not, I feel like you're kind of just looking for the conversation. Like I just want to hear thoughts about. So that's I know that now. I've been educated as to why that is what it is, and so it makes sense to me.
Cool.
You got a suggestion there?
No, this was something.
No.
Yes, that is a suggestion.
No, I'm not reading this.
This was a suggestion that
That's my favorite one there.
somebody
I think that's what
somebody
last.
wanted to make sure that it was not me. Okay, I did not put
I
that in
know
there.
who wrote
Okay.
it. They told me about it. I know who wrote it. They asked me to make sure that it got read.
So you have to make sure you read it,
Oh, we have to make sure.
and Gregor must do it in tongue.
Okay. So sometimes I gotta throw out a key phrase to get into an accent.
I get that.
So for my Russian one, and it's weird, I have to start off as in Soviet Russia. So in Soviet, I got nothing, but Daddy Chris was looking pretty sexy today.
So, Daddy Chris is Eric the Red. I was looking pretty sexy today.
But you didn't write that?
I did not write
I
that.
know who wrote that.
I did not
and
know
I'm
about
sure
it.
that they wouldn't mind me saying.
Was it Caden? I feel like it was Caden.
It was Lucian.
Just immediately, I was like, "Is the?"
Lucian actually told me about it right before he left, and I was all like, "Oh, great! I will receive the award for this week."
Fair enough.
All right, well, Lucian,
Well,
I'm glad we were able to get that read for you today.
I feel like most importantly, we need to focus on this one more than the rest.
Yeah, that one's great.
This one said, I had fun,
Aw.
Yep, that's my favorite kind of
Outstanding.
suggestion.
and I can appreciate this.
Yeah, no, that's great.
Good for that
That's great.
person.
Yeah, woo!
Claps for the
I had
anonymous
fun, too.
I had fun person.
I had fun. It was a game.
I think every weekend I have fun because, honestly, it's just getting out there with you guys, and North bringing us out there with his role play, and Brandon with his quickie snark remarks, especially to me. It's
Brandon's
great.
wit is the best.
I mean, just bantering with Brandon or Dobby over there is so much fun, and like my yes, I will claim that this week, bruh. But I mean, it's so much fun, and with Gregor coming out, and just having this podcast, I have fun sitting here. It's fun.
I will say, like, LARPing actually changed my life. Like, I started LARPing at 18. I was, like, super into my shell. As soon as I started LARPing, like, it took me about a year of LARPing before I started, like, actually, role-playing and making friends doing it. But, like, I feel like I've really made, like, lifelong friendship.
Yeah, and
Cool.
Me
too.
Beth and I never would have gotten married, and
We never would have met if it wasn't for
yeah, I've got 2 beautiful children and a beautiful wife, all because of my nerd hobby. And if that's not just beautiful, I really don't know what is.
I agree.
It's not.
Anna Kendrick. It's my opinion. Anna Kendrick. That's what's beautiful. But
I thought it was. I
She's
thought it was
okay,
somebody else
yes.
this week.
no, it's always Anna Kendrick. Calm down.
It
It
really is.
wasn't
It has
who we were
been.
talking
I
about
swear
today.
to God,
We're
with
not
this-
bringing that up.
With this man, it's been Anna Kendrick for the last 10 years.
I did have one quick question before we sign off.
It's got to be really quick.
Yeah,
Okay,
really quick.
Okay, so last week you gave out a code word.
Oh yeah, that's right. That
Oh, yeah,
nobody
and
used.
no one
No
came
Not
up to
even
you.
the
used it.
co-host.
So if you've
Or the
listened to
guest
the whole
host.
podcast, congratulations. The code word is sassafras. And if you come up to us and say that whenever you log in or get there, we'll give you bonus XP.
Also,
Yeah.
you cannot tell anyone
Yeah, don't
else
tell
what the
anyone
code
else.
word is.
If you let it get out, we'll not let anyone have
Can we
bonus
give
XP.
like 1 extra point of experience than you normally would if they say it like Goofy from a Goofy movie? Just
Absolutely.
sassy frass.
Yeah, sure.
Definitely. I thought of that earlier, and then because I'm old and I forget, and then as soon as we sat down, I'm like, as soon as we sat down, I'm like, nobody used that phrase.
Yeah,
week.
nobody.
No,
I'm gonna
this
be
was
honest,
mentioned
I didn't
today.
make it to the end of last one. 'cause
Ah,
I
there
started
it
watching
is.
it, and then what happened?
Excuses.
I was watching it.
She was.
I was
And
watching it, and then
I was
our son started acting up, and I didn't
all
get to
the
go back
time
to
with
it.
that boy.
Oh man.
Otherwise, I probably
That did get
would've-
mentioned today, by the way. North did come up to me during the event today and say, "Did anybody use that word?" And I'm like, "No,
Nope.
not a single soul, sir."
All right, so sassafras.
It was
just a
it
waste
was a
of
different
XP.
word last week, but
Yeah.
Yeah, so
It's-
don't be sneaky and thinking you can drop the sassafras and get.
It's
Yeah.
changing every week, so just so you guys know, that's another reason to watch our podcast.
Tune in, and do not touch that pause button, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, because that's what I did.
that all
and
you
then I
had for
didn't go
today?
back.
and it'll be the 13th. So the 13th the 13th of November. Sassafras is the code word to get some extra XP. And yeah, I think that's it. So we're a little bit over time, so we're gonna go ahead and sign off here. What is the crazy sign off we
All
got
right,
here?
we got to plug
I
our.
always forget.
Again, we need to plug
okay.
Facebook.
Okay, I mean, I won't go through
Oh,
the whole
yeah.
thing because I don't want to. Everybody kind of knows it by now, but yes, make sure to go to our Patreon and don't forget about our Facebook and our YouTube as well. So and comment, subscribe. Any kind of feedback you want to give us on the comments is great too. We do talk about that here, so any comments we get on the videos, we will talk about. So
All right, guys, it's been great. See you later.
Peace out.
You totally
Boy.
screwed that up, dude. Oh my gosh.
we got to stick to consistency. Do you have
Our
it?
outro is up. I have it right here.
Well,
There you
let
go.
me see it.
All
Let me
right.
read my line. This is
Jeez,
ridiculous.
Brandon.
I thought we could just improv this.
Yeah,
We
no.
will eventually. We'll just wing
We
it.
hope
I
you
can't-
keep listening.
Is that what you said?
That's what he's supposed to say.
No, I mean, did you say that? I mean, you said that's it or something.
That's
So, yeah,
it.
so
Bye.
You
See ya.
messed it up. Yeah.
Okay, so he is supposed to say, "We hope you keep listening," and I'm supposed to say, "And we hope you keep battling in honor of our capital."
Jesus, where's mine at?
It's
Yours
very
at the
awesome.
bottom, dude. All you gotta do.
Oh.
I just feel like this.
Good day to you all. Bye.